But when you breathe in and out through your nose, the nose balances the carbon dioxide and oxygen levels. Something else that we breathe in when we breathe through our nose is another gas, and that's nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is only created when we breathe through our nose. It's created in our sinuses. When we breathe through our mouth, no nitric oxide. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this now is that carbon dioxide and nitric oxide are vasodilators. What are vasodilators? Vasodilators are agents that open the blood vessels. Also, cayenne pepper is a vasodilator. And when you open those blood vessels, you get a better delivery of blood all through the body. And that takes pressure off the heart. Do you know what that means? It eases blood pressure. Just breathing through the nose, in and out. You'll get better at it. And when you breathe in and out through the nose, long, slow, deep, it stimulates your parasympathetic nervous system. And your parasympathetic nervous system is your peaceful or your calming nervous system.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Barbara O'Neill, and today we're tackling an important topic, heart disease and its potential cures. Heart disease is the leading cause of death worldwide, and as we age, the risk only increases. Did you know that one person dies every 34 seconds from cardiovascular disease in the United States alone? These numbers are alarming, but the good news is that many heart conditions can be prevented and even reversed with the right lifestyle choices. In this video, we'll discuss what causes heart disease, the warning signs to watch out for, and evidence-based ways to protect and heal your heart. From dietary changes to simple daily habits, I'll share practical tips you can start using today to improve your heart health and live a fuller, healthier life. As a thank you for joining me today, we're giving away 100 free copies of my best-selling book to subscribers. So if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, like this video, and comment why you want to win.
There are a lot of people that are doing things out of fear. One lady was on an aspirin every day, and I said, you know, you can stop that. She said, I cannot. The doctor said I will die. And that's why Psalm 146 verse 3 says, put not your trust in princes, neither in the Son of Man, in whom there is no help. Their breath goes forth, they return unto their earth. In that very day their thoughts perish, describing what happens when we die. In other words, they're just a human being, they're just another person. And then the next verse, verse 5 says, happy is he that hath the God of Jacob as his help, who made heaven, earth, sea, and all that in them is, that includes us, that keeps truth forever. So I want to show you two systems of supposed healing. One's based on fear, and it's based on a theory. Notice, it's a theory. In fact, Charles Darwin, who basically made first the theory of evolution famous, he said his theory rested on what they would find on the inside of the cell. Do you know what that means? What we know about the inside of the cell, it's a literal city inside the cell. That refutes his theory. This theory states that we evolved, and because we evolved, we cannot heal, and because we cannot heal, we have to take drugs. And a whole billion-dollar industry was developed to create the drugs with the supposed ability to heal. But drugs never heal. They just change the form and location. If someone's got eczema and they put cortisone, it goes away. But for how long? 2 weeks later it comes back twice as bad. I've met people who've been on cortisone for eczema, psoriasis for 20 years. Is it healing? No, all it's doing is masking the symptoms. This system is based on deception. And that cortisone cream is a deception. You put that on, all the symptoms go. But then it comes back. No, it has not healed you. It's a trick. It's a deception. Now, if someone's whole body is covered in eczema, out of control, I acknowledge cortisone taken when it's extreme should calm it down. But in the next step, they should have the book Sustain Me and read what changes to make so that their body can conquer it. The other system is based on faith. Faith in the fact that our body was created in the image of God. By the way, what an honour to be created in the image of God with an inbuilt ability to heal itself. And sometimes herbs can be added to help heal. This is the truth. These two systems are the systems presented on how to heal the body when it gets sick today. So let's look at the heart. Why is it the number one killer in the world today? It's the number one killer in the world today because more people die from strokes and heart attacks than anything else. So what's medicine doing? What are the princes doing to reduce heart disease? Let's do an assessment of what steps have been taken. Number one, a fat-free diet. Is that right? Fat-free or low fat? And it was in about the 1970s, I think, that margarine was introduced. I've never eaten margarine. I was brought up on butter, and margarine doesn't taste anything like butter, does it? But I knew that even butter wasn't great because the cows, they're given so many antibiotics. They're eating grass that around the fence that had formaldehyde on it, or, some toxic, and all of those environmental poisons are stored in the fat.
This accumulation of environmental toxins in fat is one of the reasons why the push for low-fat diets gained so much traction. But let's take a closer look at what has happened since then. When people started eating margarine and low-fat alternatives, they didn't suddenly become healthier. In fact, heart disease rates continued to rise. Why? Because the problem was never fat itself. It was the type of fat. Healthy fats, like those found in avocados, nuts, seeds, and even grass-fed butter, are essential for our bodies. They provide energy, support cell membranes, and are crucial for absorbing fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. What happened instead was the introduction of processed vegetable oils and hydrogenated fats like trans fats, which are far more harmful to the heart and arteries than natural fats ever were. These fats create inflammation in the body, which is a major contributor to heart disease. So while people were cutting out butter and olive oil, they were unknowingly replacing them with toxic alternatives. Another recommendation often made by princes in medicine was the reduction of salt. But let's think about it. Salt is essential for life. Every cell in our body requires sodium to function properly. The issue isn't natural salt, like sea salt or Himalayan salt, but rather the refined table salt combined with heavily processed foods. These processed foods not only contain unhealthy salts, but are also loaded with sugars, artificial additives, and preservatives, all of which contribute to poor heart health. Instead of focusing on whole natural foods, the system has encouraged dependency on medications like statins to lower cholesterol. But does lowering cholesterol actually address the root cause of heart disease? Not necessarily. Cholesterol is vital for the body. It plays a key role in hormone production, cell repair, and even brain function. Blaming cholesterol for heart disease is like blaming fire trucks for fires just because they're found at the scene. If we return to God's original design, real, whole foods, regular exercise, rest, and trust in His plan, our bodies have the ability to heal themselves. The heart can be strengthened, arteries can be cleared, and true health can be restored.
What can also damage it is not only the many chemicals that we're exposed to, but it is also exposure to mold. Mold is a toxic poison. It can come into the body and it can damage the tissues. So Absolutely, the processed food. We don't realise what's on that processed food, artificial flavourings and colourings, and so the damage continues. Cigarettes contain approximately 7,000 chemicals today, it is estimated. Now, do you know what that's called? That's called 85% occlusion of the arterial wall. And a friend of mine, his name's David, he's a doctor of chiropractic. He's very fit. He goes to Europe every year, cycles 200k cycles. He eats plants. He's a vegetarian. He doesn't drink or smoke. He was getting breathless. And his friend, who's a cardiologist, did an angiogram, and he said, "You've got 2 arteries with 85% occlusion. You're a walking, talking heart attack, just waiting to happen." So they rushed him into hospital. They sawed I used to work in operating theatre, they saw those ribs open. They cut out the offending arteries. They cut a couple of arteries out of the back of the legs, sew that up and put them in here. And does that doctor tell the person to change their lifestyle? Change their food? No, because doctors don't study nutrition. Or they study about 4 hours in 7 years, which is crazy. I'm not against doctors. Some of my best friends are doctors. And I believe most doctors are ethical. I'm against the system that is not teaching the truth. And when the Bible says, "Put not your trust in princes," and there are a movement of doctors who are not putting their trust in the princes in the pharmaceutical company anymore because they don't actually tell the truth. It's like the article where I read, "New cancer cure, 50% cure." Then you read the fine print, 2 people were tested and 1 died. So it's all the way see it. Is the cup half full or is the cup half empty? And so David had he had the 2 bypasses. He's 62. So I was talking to him. He said, "It's genetics, Barb." Well, do you know what they're relating to genetics now? 5%. Genetics may load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. My mother died a cripple in a wheelchair with rheumatoid arthritis at 51. Notice that I'm not a cripple in a wheelchair and I'm way past 51 and I'm not dead. Because genetics may load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. That's the good news. And that's what I said, "Dave, genetics loads the gun, lifestyle pulls the trigger." He said, "Well, that's what my doctor said, it's genetics." He ended up coming to the retreat. And I put my detective hat on. I wanted to know why this had happened to David. And how many people would say, "Well, look at him. He cycles. He's plant-based. What good's it done him?" But there is always a reason. Proverbs 26 verse 2, the Bible says, "The curse causeless shall not come." No problem happens without a cause. So I said, "Tell me about your childhood, David. Did you have a happy, healthy childhood?" He said, "Oh, it wasn't too bad. Both my parents chain smoked." Aha! Both parents chain smoking. And this is in the 50s, 60s, where people were smoking in restaurants, people were smoking in cars, people were smoking everywhere. In fact, every sport event, all the advertising was smoking. There were smokes on the smoking advertisements, all on the television. It's been a big change since then. So young David, all his childhood, he's breathing in this passive smoke. I'd like to suggest that by the age of 15, I wouldn't be surprised if David had about a 20% build-up in his arteries because of that toxic passive smoke that he was breathing in, which was coming in and damaging the arteries.
Passive smoke, like the kind David experienced during his childhood, is far from harmless. It's a mix of over 7,000 chemicals, many of which are toxic and at least 70 of which are known to cause cancer. When someone breathes in passive smoke, these chemicals enter the bloodstream and cause inflammation. Chronic exposure leads to the formation of plaques in the arteries, also known as atherosclerosis. Over time, these plaques narrow the arteries, restricting blood flow to vital organs like the heart. This is the process that led to David's 85% occlusion. But passive smoke is only one piece of the puzzle when it comes to heart health. Processed foods, which are often loaded with artificial additives, hydrogenated oils, and high levels of sugar and salt, play a significant role. These substances increase oxidative stress and inflammation in the body, damaging the endothelium, the thin layer of cells lining the blood vessels. When the endothelium is damaged, cholesterol and other substances can stick to the arterial walls more easily, further contributing to plaque buildup. Even mold exposure, which many overlook as a risk factor, can contribute to heart health issues. Mold produces mycotoxins, harmful compounds that can trigger immune responses and inflammation. Chronic inflammation damages tissues throughout the body, including the heart and blood vessels, making them more susceptible to disease. Cigarette smoking, whether active or passive, significantly accelerates all these processes. Smoking damages the arterial walls and reduces the oxygen-carrying capacity of the blood, forcing the heart to work harder. It also increases the risk of blood clots, which can block narrowed arteries and lead to a heart attack. The compounded effect of these factors can overwhelm even someone who appears outwardly healthy, like David. His fitness and plant-based diet helped, but they couldn't completely counteract decades of exposure to harmful substances.
When my friend David, the chiropractic doctor, came to our retreat, when he heard all this, he stopped all his medication immediately. He stopped the blood thinning medication because he discovered an excellent blood thinner. It's called water. How do I know? Because at Misty Mountain I used to do a live blood analysis, and the blood should be like this. And occasionally, maybe in about 5% of people, the blood was like this. It was all clumped together. And I'd say to the person, have you had any water to drink today? No. I didn't drink water because I was travelling and I didn't want to have to keep stopping. I said, I can't read your blood because it's all clumped together. And they start drinking. And the next day, their blood looks like that. So that's how I know that water is a powerful blood thinner. And what are people told if they have I have to just go with this little by little. And what are people told if they have high blood pressure, if they've had a stroke? They're told not only to stop the fat, but they're told to stop salt. Is that right? Well, let me give you the salt issue. But first of all, blessed blood thinner is water. Oops, come over here. Water, and that should be 8 glasses a day. 8-ounce glasses. Start early, little by little. Are you going to bed with water next to your bed? Pardon? Great. Who's the winner when you do that? We are. Also cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is quite a powerful blood thinner. It's far more potent than rat poison, warfarin. That's what it is. And if someone is on warfarin, hopefully you're not, because it's a very dangerous drug. One man said to me his nose started bleeding, and every time he brushed his ham, it started bruising. He had bruises all over him. I said, you can stop it straight away as long as you I would take a capsule of cayenne pepper a day. If your body's handling that, go up to 2 capsules 3 times a day. In fact, you could take a bucket of cayenne pepper a day and your nose will never bleed. You could take a bucket of cayenne pepper a day and you will never bruise. But I don't know anyone who has a bucket a day. Let's just go back to the capsule or 2 capsules 3 times a day. They're powerful blood thinners. Breath. Breath can make a difference. How does breath make a difference? When we breathe through our nose, we balance as blood gases. What are the blood gases? One blood gas is carbon dioxide. You can have too much carbon dioxide and you can have not enough carbon dioxide. And what nose breathing does is it keeps the correct balance of carbon dioxide. The other gas that's balanced by nose breathing is oxygen. We have 25 trillion red blood cells. We have 100 trillion cells in our body. 75 trillion are the cells that we've been looking at with its energy cycle. 25 trillion are red blood cells. And remember, the red blood cell carries the oxygen and it carries it on the hemoglobin. And hemoglobin has 4 docking sites for oxygen. And when the oxygen comes to the hemoglobin, there's a transfer. And there must be 4 molecules of carbon dioxide to be able to pick up 4 molecules of oxygen. When you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, you lose too much carbon dioxide. But when you breathe in and out through your nose, it balances those blood gases.
When the blood gases are balanced, your body operates at its optimal level. Balanced oxygen and carbon dioxide levels improve cellular function, enhance energy production, and support overall cardiovascular health. Proper breathing techniques like nasal breathing also help regulate blood pressure and heart rate, reducing strain on your circulatory system. Many people underestimate the role of simple, consistent nasal breathing in maintaining their health, but it's a powerful natural tool that promotes long-term wellness. Speaking of natural tools, let's revisit water. Many people forget that dehydration thickens the blood, making it harder for the heart to pump effectively. This can lead to increased blood pressure and a higher risk of clot formation. Drinking water throughout the day keeps your blood viscosity at a healthy level, reducing your risk of strokes or heart attacks. But it's not just about quantity, it's also about consistency. Sipping water regularly, rather than gulping it all at once, ensures your body stays properly hydrated and your blood remains fluid. Additionally, the role of cayenne pepper as a blood thinner cannot be overstated. Beyond its immediate effects on blood flow, cayenne pepper also strengthens the blood vessels, making them less prone to damage. This reduces the risk of internal bleeding or bruising, especially in individuals with fragile capillaries. Its active compound, capsaicin, improves circulation by dilating blood vessels, ensuring oxygen and nutrients are delivered efficiently throughout the body. Another important yet overlooked factor is diet. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids like salmon, flax seeds, and walnuts also act as natural blood thinners. Omega-3s reduce inflammation, lower cholesterol, and prevent the formation of clots. Combining these with a consistent intake of water and the practice of nasal breathing creates a comprehensive approach to improving blood health. Thank you for watching. I hope this video gave you valuable insights into heart health and how to take care of it. Remember, small changes can make a big difference. If you found this helpful, please like the video and subscribe for more health tips. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Stay with me as we explore how you can take control of your heart health and potentially change your future for the better.